Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I've been using digital modelers now for just over 3 years. Big fan of the Helix, really like the Neural DSP stuff, but I've really been missing having a great valve tube amplifier. Been doing a bit of research and I've discovered these guys, Vyse Amplification. Just to clarify, this is not a sponsored video. The guys at Vyse haven't asked me to make this, but they have kindly let me borrow these amplifiers just to try them out and to use them myself. I don't get to keep the amps, which is a shame. So this is the Renegade from Vyse Amplification. It's a 15 watt hand-wired tube amplifier. It weighs in at about 15 kilos. And it's got a Jensen Alnico 12-inch speaker in there. It uses an ECC83 in the initial gain stage, and it's got a pair of 6v6s. So this is quite typical of what you'd see on a black panel amp, like a Deluxe or a Princeton. Both of these use 6v6s, but it comes in way below what you would pay for a hand-wired variant of those. It's almost half the price of a hand-wired Deluxe if you were to buy one from Anderton's or somewhere like that. As I said, it's completely hand-wired. It's made by the guys at Vyse, Jason and Simon. It's a two-man operation. They're based just outside of Bristol, so fairly close to me. And this meant that I've been able to visit their workshop, see how they build these amps, ask them some questions, and really just talk to them about building an amp for myself, just to see kind of what the art of the possible is. They kindly let me borrow this and another amplifier, but I'm going to talk about this one today. It's something that I've been using quite extensively, particularly at home. I've been recording lots of library music recently, and this has just been absolutely fantastic. It's super clean, really warm tone, but if I need it to break up, it can do that as well. I haven't tried it out in a band situation, at a gig or at a rehearsal. I think it probably could do it, but if you are playing a gig with a really loud drummer, then you're probably going to have to mic it up. I'm always on in-ears, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. But if you're somebody that likes to be able to hear and feel the amp behind you, you might want to consider perhaps something like the Royale T, which is what I have behind me in the range, which is just a bit more powerful. So as I said, I've been using this for recording loads. It's got a really nice clean sound on it. I've got the Custom Shop Strat, which I made another video on. Check that out if you haven't already. It's plugged into, I'm actually going through a pedal which is off at the moment, the PRS Horsemeat. Again, made a video on that. And then straight into the amp. There are two inputs on this amp, so there's a high and a low input, which is fairly typical. And then we've got the volume, 3-band EQ, so bass, middle, treble, pretty typical for that kind of black panel circuit. And also a valve-driven spring reverb, which is just absolutely beautiful. Probably one of the best reverbs I've heard on any amplifier. Doesn't have a master volume and it doesn't have an effects loop, so it's quite a traditional amp in that sense. But I think for what I use it for, it's it does more than enough. I've got everything set to 12 o'clock at the moment, and I've got the reverb just at about 2, so it's fairly low, but let's hear what it sounds like. So this is the Strat just on the neck pickup. I'm sat so close to the amp, it is making a bit of noise, but that's just because I'm using single coils. So yeah, as I said, it's a super warm tone. I'll just let you hear what it sounds like if I push the treble up a bit as well, because whilst it's warm, it's not dark by any means. Let's just hear what it sounds like on the bridge pickup. Put everything back to 12 o'clock. Super rusty at the moment, I do apologise. So yeah, in terms of clean tones, like I said, that's what it sounds like on the Strat. It does break up if you push it, and if you plug it into the high input especially, you can get some really great overdrive tones from it. So what I'll do now is I'll just push the volume all the way up and let you hear what it sounds like with the Strat. Staying on the bridge pickup. So you can really hear there with the bridge pickup and the volume cranked that the highs do open up on this amp. I've been using this tone and the clean tone an absolute ton for recording. With the neck pickup especially, running on the low input, it just kind of brings things down a bit, brings it in slightly. Great for those sort of clean rhythm, almost acoustic, wow, I really can't speak today, acoustic kind of tones. But if you need those lead tones, I'll probably use a slightly hotter guitar, maybe my 335 or the PRS, something with a humbucker in it if I just needed a bit more. But it takes pedals really well. So let me just show you first of all what it sounds like just rolling the volume back. It kind of gives you an idea of if you wanted to set and forget the amp, the sorts of tones you could still get from it. So again, I've got the volume cranked, everything else set to 12. Still super clean. I'll just bring the volume all the way up now and you can hear how much it breaks up. Really usable tones. Like I said, it's kind of set and forget. You can dial your tone in, roll the volume back slightly, and it just cleans up really, really well. In terms of the actual circuit, this is something that Vyse have designed. It's their own model. It's not a clone of anything else. But if that is what you're interested in, they do also make those kinds of amps. But I think for what this is, it's just a really beautiful amp, really nice tone. Let's hear what it sounds like with the PRS Horsemeat. Just going to bring the volume back down because it's super loud. Okay, so everything at 12 o'clock. This is my bass tone. And and then with the horse meat. So things like overdrives, fuzzes, takes them really, really well. There's loads of headroom on this amp, should you need it. I haven't really tried any kind of delays or reverbs into the front of the amp because that's not really my kind of thing. I prefer to use like an effects loop if it's an option on the amp. As I said, it's not on this one. And if I did change anything, I'd probably add the effects loop and maybe master volume as well, because I really like that, that overdriven sound. But I would like to have the option of not kind of upsetting anyone in the house or any of my neighbours if I did need to turn it up. Oh yeah, and as I didn't mention, I've mic'd the amp up with a couple of different mics. I'm using an SM57 and a Lauten Audio LA120, which is like a small diaphragm condenser mic. Both of these mics on their own sound great on this amp, but my personal preference is to put them both on and just kind of blend the signals. So that's what you're hearing. I've tried to sort of recreate this as accurately as possible. But yeah, one for the nerds. Just do a couple of demos with a humbucker guitar as well for anyone that's interested in what that would sound like. So this is with the PRS Custom 24, just clean tone, everything at 12 o'clock, a little bit of reverb. Bridge pickup, here we go. You can already hear with higher output pickups how much harder it's pushing the front of the amp. You do get that breakup a little bit sooner. Sounds great to me. Here it is with the neck pickup. Something that I really like on this amp is if I just take the reverb up to about 12 o'clock, so about halfway, it's really great for those sort of jazzy tones as well. So... just in the low input, because even that's breaking up quite a bit. Just some other tones whilst I'm on the low input. Just to demonstrate what the reverb sounds like all the way up. not super springy, but just sounds cool, right? Very, very musical reverb. I think even all the way up, you still get a good mix of the actual guitar. It's not completely overwhelming. I had a chat with the guys at Vyse just to understand how they do the reverb circuit. They did explain it to me. It was very technical, but I'll probably explain that in another video once I've got my head around it, because I'm not an amp tech. So finally, let's just crank it all the way with a humbucker pickup in the high input. It's a super versatile amplifier. I absolutely love it. Seriously considering getting one of these. I checked out some of the sort of equivalent prices. If you were to get a Fender Deluxe, it's about £200 more than what this costs here in the UK. If you wanted a hand-wired version, as this is a hand-wired amp of a Fender Deluxe, you'd be paying pretty much double the price, even for a Princeton, which is, I guess, the same wattage but smaller speaker, smaller cab. You're going to be paying way kind of north of what one of these would cost you. The nice thing about this as well, because it is completely handmade, hand-wired, point-to-point wiring, if you did have an issue with this, you could take it to any amp tech. You could probably even take it to an electrician, get them to stick a meter on it and diagnose and fix the fault, you know, relatively quickly. Which with my history of valve amps, that is a big deal for me. So yeah, I mean, just exactly what I need from an amplifier. As a gigging musician, as somebody that needs a reliable amp and I can take it out on the road, I can take it to studios, even just practicing at home, the Renegade is perfect. Like I said, I think for gigging, I'd probably go for something like this, the Royalty. I'll make another video about this because it's a very different amp, but it's still a beast in its own right. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. It really helps me out, it helps the channel out, and please also share your thoughts on the Renegade. Drop a note in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys. I've had loads of great comments recently, a couple of bad ones, but mainly good ones, and even the bad ones do give me a laugh. So yeah, keep them coming. And if you'd like to kind of see more of this kind of thing, let me know. Hit subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. You know how this works now. But yeah. Thanks as always for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. Go play your guitar.